morning, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Stacy Will, if you've never been here before. Today we are on day 2 of our Great River Road National Scenic Byway motorcycle tour. So yesterday I was in Blytheville, started at the northern terminus of the road, and we made it all the way down here to Helena for the night. If you want to watch the Great River Road day 1 video, I'll link that right up here. We are also on, I want to say we're on day like 6 or 7 of our Arkansas motorcycle tour this week. So be sure to watch this entire series if you want to see some other things to do in Arkansas. Well, today we have a ton to do. I stayed at the Edwardian Inn last night, so we were about halfway down this little byway. Really great place to stay. Highly recommend it. Robert, the owner, is awesome. But I have so much to do today. We're just going to go ahead and hit the road because I don't want to miss anything that's on my schedule. So let's go.
No trip to the Delta is complete without a stop to Jones Barbecue. Considered the country's oldest black-owned restaurant, the Jones family has been serving up pork-based barbecue since 1910. In fact, they're the first business in the state of Arkansas to ever receive a James Beard Award. People come from all over the world to try their pork sandwiches, and today, James Jones runs the pit and restaurant, operating from 7 a.m. till they run out daily.
That's good. There isn't much to them. It's like real good pork barbecue, coleslaw, and Wonder Bread. Real simple stuff, but I'd say for a breakfast, because it's currently about 9:15 in the morning, it's pretty good. So Mr. Jones just told me that they run out of sandwiches and barbecue typically by 11 a.m. every single day. I am here on a Tuesday, and he says even on a Tuesday he'll probably sell out by 11. We're gonna go ahead and get back on the road. There's a really cool historical place just down the street that I want to show y'all.
Buried in the largest remaining headwater swamp in the Mississippi River drainage, you'll find the Louisiana Purchase State Park. In 1803, the Louisiana Purchase more than doubled the size of the United States and brought all the territory that would become Arkansas under U.S. ownership. In 1815, President James Madison ordered a survey to establish a system for distributing land to veterans of the War of 1812. Surveyors of the 5th principal meridian and baseline intersected in the headwater swamp, forming the initial point from which subsequent surveys of Louisiana Purchase lands originated. In 1926, the Daughters of the American Revolution dedicated this granite monument to mark the site where the settlement of the American West began.
I mean, think about it. Back in the day, there weren't any roads. I'm sure the mosquitoes were just as bad as they are now. It's crazy to think that back in the day, people came all the way out here. There were no roads, no nothing, and people found all of this by horseback or on foot, and it's crazy to me to think that, like, this is how the American West began, basically, is right here, and we're not even west yet. We are in Arkansas. We're almost like in the central U.S., almost to the east a little. History's pretty neat. Bring bug spray if you come out here. I'm going to turn into a mosquito after today.
The Delta holds a history as rich as its soil, and the town of Helena is one of the most fertile towns in the Delta for both. From its roots in the Civil War to blues music and agriculture, there's a little bit of everything here for people to discover, including the only distillery in Arkansas making vodka from sweet potatoes. In fact, they're one of only 4 distilleries in the country doing it. So we are getting a private tour of the Delta Dirt Distillery. They have been open for about 6 months to the public. This is Thomas. His family owns the distillery, and I'm going to go ahead and let him take it from here to tell you a little bit about the spirits that they create here and just all the stuff that he's definitely an expert in, and I am not. So
our first product that we have out is our sweet blend vodka, which is made from a combination of our homegrown sweet potatoes, and our homegrown corn. So all the grain that we use here are grown from our own family farm. So we truly are farm to bottle.
Thomas is the head distiller here at Delta Dirt. In a week's time, he takes the crops his family grows on their family farms in the Delta through a distilling process that eventually turns them into an award-winning vodka.
Branding, who this?
These just got in over the weekend, so I'm super excited. I'm like, can we run out of the old label so I can put these on?
The distillery also offers a tasting room where they've created their own cocktail menu incorporating their vodka and eventually their future gin and bourbon products. Unfortunately for me, I have a long ride ahead of me, so a sip of each is all I'm going to get to enjoy today.
That's delicious. It's good. And I could drink all these, but then I'll have a really fun ride south.
Right.
Just down the street, the Helena Tavern pays homage to its local blues and Delta roots, with King Biscuit radio show memorabilia adorning the walls and playing over the sound system. It's also a popular spot to grab a burger and enjoy live music on the weekends. While most people focus on the importance of the Mississippi River in the Delta, it's not the only major waterway in the region. Here in the southeastern corner of the state, you'll find the confluence of the Arkansas and White Rivers, making it a thriving port and trading post in the 1700s and 1800s. During the Civil War, the Arkansas Post was a thriving Confederate fort and town site, designed to prevent Union forces from entering the Arkansas River.
So this used to be Fort Hinman, but it's basically gone now because of the way that the river swallows things and changes over the years, so...
While the old fort is underwater, the National Park Service has protected the old town site, allowing you to take a step back in time to see what remains at the Arkansas Post. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to walk the town site, but if you're a history nerd, it's definitely worth stopping to see. While some historical sites bring feelings of excitement and intrigue, others can bring feelings of sorrow and guilt. After the attacks on Pearl Harbor, a wave of hysteria swept the country, and nearly 120,000 Japanese American citizens came under suspicion as to their loyalty to the United States. As a result, President Roosevelt established the War Relocation Authority and began the forced relocation of persons of Japanese ancestry.
There were multiple of them.
Between 1942 and 1945, more than 8,000 Japanese Americans were interned at Rohwer, a 500-acre camp surrounded by barbed wire and armed guards. All that remains of the camp today is the tall smokestack where the camp's hospital used to stand in the Rohwer Memorial Cemetery. In the decades after Rohwer's closing, the camp cemetery has become the focus of preservation efforts and a symbol of the camp. In 1945, 2 large concrete monuments were erected in the cemetery. The first monument was dedicated to all those who died while interned at Rohwer. The second commemorates the young men from Rohwer who fought and lost their lives fighting for the United States during World War II.
Well, I definitely can't say that this is the best type of historical marker that we could stop at. However, I do think that it is important to stop at these whenever you do have the opportunity, and it's right off the Great River Road. So if you have a chance to learn about history and truly absorb it firsthand, I highly recommend it. So definitely come in and stop here. It's absolutely worth it. There's also a museum in the town of McGee. I probably said that wrong, but there is a museum. However, it's already closed for the day. So if you guys are ever in this area, definitely stop by. We're going to go ahead and get back on the road though and go to dinner. So let's go.
What was once a cattle barn off Highway 65 has turned into Hoots, a thriving barbecue joint in McGee. It's definitely one of the busiest eateries in town, with a menu that, literally, takes up an entire wall in the building. After days of trying pork-based barbecue, pork rinds and a plate of Texas-style brisket were all that this Texan could eyeball on the menu.
Had to get some cheesecake to go because we are on our way to our final destination. I don't know if y'all can see it in this GoPro footage or not, but we might be hitting some rain. You might have heard that thunder just now. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this bike packed up and we're gonna hit the road. I wish I was told that Lake Chicot has absolutely gorgeous sunsets, but because of this rainstorm that's coming in, we kind of got gypped on it, unfortunately. But oh, look at all the little cypress trees. Wow. So I will see y'all in the morning. This place comes complete with tree frogs. I am in heaven.
At 20 miles long, Lake Chicot is the largest natural lake in Arkansas and the largest oxbow lake in North America. Chicot, which is French for stumpy, refers to the many cypress trees and stumps found along the lake banks.
Good morning from Lake Chicot. I grabbed a kayak this morning and decided to come out and yak through the cypress trees here, and what a freaking great decision this has been. This is absolutely beautiful. I hope you can hear me because there's a million birds above me chirping. But yeah, this is just gorgeous. I could sit here all day and not get tired of it. This is the final official day of this trip, and I do have about 350 miles to do. So let's go ahead and finish the Great River Road National Scenic Byway and grab breakfast.
Just up the road in the small town of Lake Village, you'll find Rhoda's famous tamales, pies, and soul food. Rhoda's is probably one of the most well-known eateries in the Delta and serves up home-cooked Delta-style tamales filled with chicken fat, beef, and spices.
Those were so freaking good. By the way, it is cash only, so make sure you bring cash. I luckily had $8 cash left on me, which covered the tamales, but I wasn't able to get pie. So I guess I have to come back another time to try the pie. Let's go ahead and get back on the road because we are almost to the end of it. Right there is the mighty Mississippi, which means that we have made it to the southern terminus of the Arkansas portion of the Great River Road National Scenic Byway. This road completely blew my mind. It was absolutely gorgeous. Between all the farmland and history lessons and just the Delta culture and charm, it honestly really surprised me. I had a great time on this trip. The only thing that I regret is that I tried to do it in 2 days instead of 3. I totally wish I would have had 3 full days on this trip to do this because there's just so much to see and do, and I had to skip a lot of the things I wanted to do in order to like make up for time. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully you guys learned something about Arkansas throughout this whole Arkansas ride series that I've put together. And up here, I'll link some of the other videos that I put together if you are just now chiming in and watching this one. Be sure to check the description down below as well. I will put a link to the motorcycling guide down in the description, and you'll also be able to look at an online version of it if you don't want the book itself. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I gotta hit the road. I got a long day ahead of me, so be sure to like this video, subscribe, comment, you know, like we talked about, all the typical YouTube things, and I will see y'all on the road. Later, y'all.